video, we are going to review the new Metabo HPT 7 1/4 dual belt cordless miter saw. This saw retails at Acme Tools for $1,249 US. I guess Metabo's not messing around. According to their Instagram page, this is the ultimate saw, designed to deliver perfection. But first, we have to take it out of the box. Here she is. Pretty typical miter saw design. Being 7 1/4 inches, she's definitely lightweight, which is nice. Has a dual rail system. Hopefully this adds to more stability. There's a laser and 2 LED lights, which definitely come in handy working in low light or at night. The geared bevel adjustment in the back is a very nice feature. It has speed and torque control, along with soft start and electric brake. They also claim the dual belt makes for a quieter saw. Well, we're about to find out. Let's start by looking inside the head of the saw. You can see the motherboard and connectors are sealed from dust. This is a good start. The laser and LED switch are also sealed. Here is one of the LED lights. And here is the connector and wire for the laser. Next is the pulley from the motor to the blade shaft. This setup is a torque multiplier. If we look on the other side, you can see a smaller driver wheel, again making this a torque multiplier. This is the double belt system. Good testing starts with accurate tools. Using a calibrated straight edge and a 1/1000th of an inch feeler gauge, let's check the table. The sides are flat, but the middle miter table is a little more than 1/1000th of an inch lower. This is not ideal. Manufacturers will generally make the sides slightly lower so you can get full bearing on the miter table. Next, let's look at the lower fences, making sure they are coplanar. This is very important. Both fences were within 1/1000th of an inch until about the last 2 inches of the right fence, which had 4/1000th of an inch gap. This was not a misaligned fence. The fence itself was not straight. Time for the upper fences, starting with the right. The fence was not square and set back 7/1000th of an inch. This is way out. The fence locks in with 2 pins and has a set screw in the middle which pulls the fence back out of alignment. To set the fence properly, you would have to drill into the pinholes and install set screws. This is not acceptable. On to the left fence. It was also not square and set back 4/1000th of an inch. This again is too much and would affect the cut quality. The left fence would have to be ground down to get back into alignment again. Not acceptable. Time for some tape and CA glue. This is such a handy trick. I find myself using it all the time, like mounting this dial gauge to check the rails. The rails turned out pretty good with less than 25/10,000ths of play. Seems the double rail is making a difference. Blade time. This is a very thin blade, having a plate of only 55/1000ths. Not my first choice. Let's see if we can make our own blade. Okay, I think this blade is better than that, but still too thin for my liking. Can you guess what's not right here? Yep, the blade's on backwards, so we can cut into the plastic throat plate without cracking it. Don't forget to turn the blade around once you're done. Trust me, it cuts better this way. Time to check if the blade is parallel to the rails. This is crucial. We already checked the rails and they were good. Wow, 9/1000ths of an inch out. That's not good. Notice I'm pulling on the rail mount, not the saw head, so I don't introduce any false movement. Next is the deflection test. I always do this with my pinky so I don't put unrealistic force on the head. There's about 35/1000ths of play. This is in the normal range for miter saws, but not great. The Bevel Gear. This is definitely an improvement over regular saws and should be standard on all saws. The detent lever and locking screw handle work well and are secure. Looking underneath the saw, you can see the detent and locking bar are both metal. Next are the extension wings. Notice the wing only goes in about 3/4 of an inch. This doesn't make a good connection and can be pulled out, making it unsuitable for travel. When using the extension wings, they do have a nice feature allowing you to adjust the leveling feet to get full support. LED light. There are 2 lights and 3 modes, both on, right on, and left on. And the laser line. All of these features come in handy. Bevel wheel. This is definitely the best feature of the saw and works really well. I was able to dial in 110.5 degrees, no problem. There is also your typical 45-degree stop bolts and a 90-degree stop bolt and pin. The saw also has a threaded depth adjustment knob for making dados. And if you're working with thicker pieces, it has a flip stop to increase the blade height. Time to test the saw for square. Table is locked in the 90-degree detent. Well, that's not good. We're 9/1000ths out of square. Because there is no adjustable detent plate, we have to adjust the fences. This is not an easy task and takes a very specific procedure. The fences should be designed to make adjustment easy, while allowing them to stay in plane. The bolts grab the fence when tightening and move it out of position. You have to be very careful when securing the fence. Once the left fence is set, make a test cut and check that it's square. I'm 3/1000ths in 10 inches. Next, adjust the right fence and bring it coplanar with the left. All the same issues apply to both fences. You need to be very careful when securing the fence so it doesn't move. Then check the left fence for square. The fences are coplanar within 1/1000th of an inch, but the cut is out of square 8/1000ths. This is because the right fence isn't perfectly flat and the left fence was about 3/1000ths out. Like I said, this is a tricky process and will take some time. Here's a cut with no dust collection and one with dust collection. Like most saws, the boot needs to be lower and have an angled bottom. The saw miters from 90 to 45 on the left and 90 to 33 degrees on the right. Let's check the 45 detent. Once you set the 90, the rest should be dead on. If it's off, the detents or scale are not correct. You can only adjust one angle and the rest must be right. Using a bevel gauge and a scale, you can see the 45 is slightly off. Let's make some hexagons. If you've seen my cutting regular polygons post on Facebook or IG, you know for a hexagon, you need a 60-degree cut. Let's start with a mitered hexagon. Here it is clamped with no glue. Next, let's do a vertical beveled hexagon. This is where the geared bevel adjustment and digital gauge really come in handy. Here are both flat and vertical hexagons clamped together with no glue.
That was a lot of testing, but I think we learned a lot. Here are my thoughts. The fence system is definitely subpar and needs a better design. Also, if you're not going to have an adjustable miter plate, then you need to design the fences to be easily adjusted. This was not the case. It took quite a while with precision tools to get them lined up and square, and as you saw, they are still not as perfect as I would like. The saw does ride straight on the rails, but the blade is not parallel and is an obvious issue, causing problems getting perfect cuts. The play in the head is average for miter saws, but not great. Especially being a smaller 7 1/4 inch saw, it should be better. The geared bevel adjustment worked great, and it's a nice feature to have. This is something all manufacturers should put on their saws. The blade, like most blades that come with the saw, is low quality. I recommend getting a better blade. So the $1,249 question, is this saw worth it? If this saw was $600, I'd say get it. Compared to the other 7 1/4 inch saws, it's a decent saw. As an ultimate miter saw, it's a few fries short of a Happy Meal. I can't see myself paying that much for this saw, so I'll be returning it. Thanks for watching. I hope this review has helped. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe. I've got a lot more stuff coming. See you next time.